Question number 15. Let's comprehend. Two fair dice, each with face numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, are rolled together and the sum of the numbers on the faces is observed. What is given? Two fair dice, each with face numbered 1 to 6, are rolled together and sum of the numbers on the faces is observed. This process is repeated till the sum is either a prime number or a perfect square. Okay. Suppose the sum turns out to be a perfect square before it turns out to be a prime number. Okay. If P is the probability that this perfect square is an odd number, so that is given. What is asked? The value of 14 times P. P is the probability that this perfect square is an odd number. Let's analyze. I recall two or more events are said to be mutually exclusive if the events cannot occur together. That is, the occurrence of any one of them precludes the occurrence of the other. NCERT. If the events E1, E2, E3, En are mutually exclusive events, then probability of occurrence of at least one of them, that is either E1 or E2 or E3 or En, occurs is the event, this event, at least one of them is E1 union E2 union En. So probability of this event is equal to P of E1 plus P of E2 plus P of E3 plus up to P of En. NCERT result. Now two events are said to be independent if the occurrence or non-occurrence of one event has no effect on the occurrence or non-occurrence of the other event and vice versa. Definition of independent event. And if events E1, E2, E3, En are independent events, then probability of occurrence of all of them means E1 and E2 and En. That event is E1 intersection E2 intersection up to En. The probability of this is P of E1 into P of E2 up to P of En. From NCERT results, simple NCERT results. And if event E dash, E complement, is non-occurrence of event E, complement event, then P of E dash is equal to 1 minus PE. So these are the basic results we have from the NCERT and we will use them. I also recall the probability of occurrence of an event E1 given that event E2 has already occurred, which we call conditional event. Conditional probability of occurrence of E1 on the condition that E2 has already occurred is denoted by probability of E1 while E2 has already occurred, E1 upon E2. NCERT. The outcomes favorable to E2 becomes the possible outcomes and hence outcomes favorable to E1 upon E2 event are outcomes common to E1 and E2. Therefore, that's a definition we have studied from the class 12th NCERT. So these are basic results, standard results we have, we will use them. Now I recognize in one trial of rolling two coins, number of possible outcomes 36, 6 possible cases on one, 6 possible cases on second. And the possible sum of the numbers on the faces can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are the possible sum of numbers on the faces. Now let's describe event E1, which is sum observed is either a prime number or a perfect square. So favorable outcomes for this out of these possible for sum to be either a prime number or a perfect square 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11. And favorable outcome for E1. So these are the possible values which can be there as the sum. Now, outcomes for E1 are For 2, 1, 1. For 3, 1, 2 or 2, 1. 4, 2, 2, 1, 3. Like that, we just check all of them. So n of E1 is equal to 22. Favorable outcomes for occurrence of event E1. So probability of occurrence of event E1 is 22 favorable upon total, 22 upon 36. Event E2, sum observed is a perfect square. So favorable for this are 4 and 9. And favorable outcome for E2, 2, 2 for 4, 1, 3, 3, 1 for 9, 3, 6, 6, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4. This is 4. N of E2 is equal to 7, number of elements in this, favorable outcome for this event E2. So probability of occurrence of event E2 is 7 upon 36, basic definition. Event E3, sum observed is a perfect square and odd number. I'm just writing all the events possible which I can see from the question. So event E3 is equal to yes. So favorable outcome for this, sum is 9, perfect square and odd number. And favorable outcomes for event E3, 3, 6, 6, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4. So n of E3 is equal to 4. So P of E3 is equal to 4 upon 36. So event E1, this is what you have described, event E2, event E3, right? Now in the experiment, rolling is repeated till the sum is either a prime number or a perfect square. Let's pick this. Event A, I'm describing event A. The sum turns out to be a perfect square before it turns out to be a prime number occurs if occurrence of E2 in first trial or non-occurrence of event E1 in first trial and occurrence of event E2 in second trial or non-occurrence of event E1 in first and second and occurrence of E2 in third trial, or it can go up to the fourth, fifth, sixth, up to infinite it can go. So these are the favorable way in which event A, the sum turns out to be a perfect square before it turns out to be a prime number, can occur. Now let event B1, occurrence of event E2 in first trial. Event B2, this was the, for this event I have taken event B1. For this event B2, then event B3, and it will continue. So probability of occurrence of B1 is equal to P of E2, which is, we'll check the value. Now, occurrence of event B2 is non-occurrence of E1 and occurrence of E2 in the second trial. Now this, there are two independent events. E1 and E2 are independent and E1 dash and E2 dash will be independent. So P of E1 dash into P of E2 dash. Similarly, P probability of event B3, E1 dash and E1 dash and E2. Independent events. So the result is P of E1 dash into P of E1 dash into P of E2 dash. And it will continue. So event A, the sum turns out occurs if Issyk-Komenev of event symbolic form में लिख लिया, either event B1 or occur, or event B2 occur, or event B3 occur, or it will continue up to infinity. So event A is A1, B1, union B2, union B3, or is there. And these are mutually exclusive events. If B1 occur, then B2 cannot occur. If B2 occur, then B1 or B3 cannot occur. So mutually exclusive events, so P of A will be equal to P of B1 plus P of B2 plus P of B3 up to infinity. Now if I describe event C, the sum turns out to be a perfect square and it is a an odd number occurs if E3 in first trial, non-occurrence of E1 in first trial and occurrence of E3 in the second trial, or non-occurrence of E1 in first and second and occurrence of event E3 in the third trial, or can go up to infinity. Like earlier, for event A, I am describing event D1. In this, occurrence of event E3 in first trial. For this, E2, D2. For this, D3, and it will continue. So, probability of D1, occurrence of event E3 in first trial, P of E3. P of D2 will be P of E1 dash intersection E3 dash, independent events. So the result will be equal to P of E1 dash into P of E3 dash. Similarly, P of D3, and it will continue. So event C, so symbolically again I'm writing, either occur if D1 occur, or event D2 occur, or event D3 occur, or. So event C is D1 union D2 union D3 union. So probability of C, mutually exclusive events, P of C is equal to P of D1 plus P of D2 plus P of D3. It goes up to infinity. Now the given is small p is the probability of even occurrence of an odd number while the event, the sum turns out to be a perfect square before it turns out to be a prime number, has already occurred. So event C is the sum turns out to be a perfect square and it is an odd number. Event A, the sum turns out to be a perfect square before it turns out to be a prime number. So this P is probability of occurrence of odd number while perfect square before prime has already occurred. This is equal to occurrence of odd number and perfect square before prime number divided by this. So which is event C and this is event A. So probability of occurrence of C divided by probability of occurrence of A. So I have recognized them. Now I'll just calculate. Do the simple calculation there now. So P of E1 is this, P of E1 dash is this. So P of A is equal to this. I just checked. Now put the values. This is an infinite GP. First term 7 upon 36, common ratio 14 upon 36. So infinite GP sum is equal to A upon 1 minus R. I just put the values. I get 7 upon 22. P of C, we just check that. Put the values. Again, infinite GP with first term 4 upon 36, common ratio 14 upon 36, A upon 1 minus R, 4 upon 22. So small p is equal to PC upon PA. We get small p is equal to 4 upon 7. So required value 14p, that is 8. All basic results, NCERT results, just need to comprehend the language of the question correctly and completely. I got my answer. It is 8. No trick, no complication, no mystery. This is my approach. Straight, simple approach, SS approach. No trick, no complication, no mystery. My name is Shishir Sani. I'm graduate of IIT Roorkee, class of 96. IIT JEE coach since 99. Thank you.